The streets will never make you grow. It's not a seed, it's a gutter. There's no happy endings in this life. So this is my message to you. The streets will never love you back.
Pow. What's up, guys? Well, it's good to see everybody in here today. The last time I was here was Sunday. Now, tonight we have Chatting with Staxx. You know, everyone looks at Staxx and maybe they don't know he has a story. You know, he told the story once before, maybe twice, 3 times, but we're going to try to put a little spotlight on him tonight. Okay, we're going to start from the beginning to where he is today. I mean, each and every one of us have been through something in our lives. You know, there's some things we don't tell. Sometimes we tell it all. Sometimes we leave something out. And all of us are fighting a battle, whether it was someone we loved, that we lost, or something we're going through today. It could be addiction, fighting it every day, trying to get through the next day, waking up, and just dealing with the things that life brings you. I mean, life is hard. Life is not easy. Each and every one of us is going through something. But I have Staxx here today. Friday, 7 p.m., I'm going to have Brian Glaze Gibbs. Brian Glaze Gibbs is from East New York. He was a hoodlum, a thug growing up, a bad boy. He's going to tell us his story. And so hopefully you guys are looking forward to that. But tonight we have Staxx. So I'm going to bring Staxx on.
Thank you for having me on, Jimmy.
Of course.
Appreciate it, man.
It's always a pleasure to have you on. And, you know, you're the guy for me that I call when I need help with all this internet stuff. You know, whether I have to post a picture, I call Staxx. You know what I mean? Staxx would help me. But it's always a pleasure to see you. And we're going to have a good interview today. We're going to have fun with this. Now, let's talk about you growing up. Let's start.
So I grew up in Bristol, Connecticut. Yeah, everyone knows that town, Aaron Hernandez and ESPN. So I'm 42 years old. I'm about to be 43. And I grew up. My mother was a single mother when I was born. She already had my brother. I have an older brother. I have a younger sister. And me and my brother have the same. We have different fathers. Me, my brother, my sister. Me and my brother we had a stepfather. My sister's father was our stepfather. And I never felt accepted by him. You know, my father was gone before I was born. So by the time I got a stepfather, I think I was around 1 year old, maybe. I don't even remember, you know, but I wasn't his kid. He was abusive towards me and my brother. And I was young, man. And I think I was looking for a father role. And I think it really affected me not growing up with my real father and having that male role model that accepts you and you want to ask them questions and how to live life and all that. I didn't have that. I had a guy that told me I would never amount to nothing and that I was going to be useless. And he always put hands on me and my brother, always. And my brother would always take the ass whooping first, always. And it was terrible growing up like that. But I always had love for my mom. And it wasn't like a drug-filled environment. It was my mother went to work. She worked at UConn. She worked at GT Graphics. She always had a really good job. She always took care of me, my brother, and my sister. And her kids were always her top priority. And but the stepfather thing, it really it affected me really bad, man. I would go to school And I would lie to people about who my father was. I would tell them, oh, he's some guy in Italy with a race car and shit, you know. And I would go to school and I'd be causing trouble constantly. I think I was looking for attention a lot, and getting suspended for fighting with the teachers or fighting with kids. It was constantly like that growing up. My first run-in with law enforcement was when I was 10 years old. I threw a match in a dumpster at the school and it caught on fire, and I ended up getting in trouble for that. And my mother was like grounded me for the whole summer, like in my room. That was terrible. It was like prison before I even went to prison. You know what I mean?
Now, how about your real dad? Did you ever get to know who your real dad was?
Yeah, I did. So my real father left before I was born, and he came back around when I was 10 years old, the first time I ever met my dad. He told us to go meet him down at McDonald's. I remember the day. I walked in there. He had a beard. He was scraggly looking. He wasn't what I thought he would be. And he was with all his biker friends. He was like a biker guy. And I was sitting there and I was looking at this guy, and I'm like, I wanted to ask him a question, but I didn't know what to call him. So I said, I knew his name was my name. I had the same name as him. So I said, hey, Bill. And he came over to me and he grabbed me by the throat right in McDonald's, squeezing my throat. I'm 10 years old. And he goes, don't ever call me Bill. I'm your father. You call me Dad. And I don't even know this guy, man. I'm like, what? This is like, it was crazy. And right there turned me off, man. I'm like, fuck this guy. I had a lot of resentment built up for him leaving, and then he disappeared after that. And then I think he tried to show up another time. My mother wasn't having it. I think he was like all spun out in drugs or whatever. And throughout my life, I was getting arrested. I always had court cases going on, and I'll get into that. What happened with my father down the road,
Let's talk about your mom. I got a lot of respect for moms. I know she's the hero in your life.
Definitely. Yeah, my mom, she's incredible, man. She's been my rock ever since I was born, She's been the only person that's always been there for me, no matter what. Even when the judge said, no, we're done with you, she was not done with me. She was always there. She would always be there to write letters to. She would never bond me out for stupid shit. Like, she wants me to learn my lesson, but she would always, I think she got to a point when I was in my drug addiction and alcohol addiction to where I would overdose so many times that I think it scared her to find me dead or have me dead in the streets. That one time I overdosed and she came and found me, and she thought to herself, should I even try to save him this time? And when she told me that, I was like, what? It was crazy, man.
Staxx, I'm going to throw up this picture. Tell me a little bit about this photo, because I look at this photo and I see a beautiful family, a happy family.
Yeah, it's my mom. That's my brother, me, and my sister. And yeah, that's my family, man.
Beautiful. That's a beautiful picture.
Yeah.
And this photo is you and your mom.
Yeah, coming to visit me in prison. That was in 1998. I went to MYI, and then I got transferred to an adult facility, and I was in Gardner Correctional Institution when it was a gang program in the 90s.
So let me ask you a question. So did you join a gang first and then you went to prison?
No.
So you went to prison first?
No. So what I did, I was in a gang before I went to prison. I was in the streets dealing with gang members and causing crimes. The reason why I went to prison, the gun I had was the gang that I was dealing with. The gun was our gun. So I got out of the gang before I went to prison. When I was a kid, 17 years old. So I was fully involved with the whole gang life. I was in 20 Love. By the time I was 17, there was this rumor going around that I was sleeping with the president's girlfriend. So they called me up, picked me up in a car. They said, we're going to meet these girls in this park. There's about 8 guys in a car. We pull up to a park and we were walking up this trail, and they turn around and one of them hits me in the face, and we start fighting, and they just rush me. They're stomping me, kicking me, stomping me for a while. It happened for a while. And one guy was trying to break my leg while the other guy's stomping on it. And they picked up my shoe, took my shoe off and threw it in my face. I'm bleeding, and they just drove away. And I had to pick myself up and bring myself home. I didn't go to the hospital. I just went home. My mother's like, what happened to you? And I'm just like, nothing. I'm good. I was beat up really bad, man. Purple all over my face. My nose was broken. My eyes were black.
And these people are supposed to be your friends.
Yeah. Supposed to be my friend.
Your brothers.
Yeah. And I had to go to prison now with no backing from this gang. I have to go there as a neutral person, knowing that I had problems with the other people who we had problems with in the street and the people who I was in the gang with. But luckily for me, after I got beat down in the park, the people who I was dealing with in the Hartford area of Connecticut, they came to Bristol and they kind of straightened this all out. The whole situation with them coming and beating me up and everything. They came down, they had a meeting, and they disciplined all the people that were involved, and they let me walk. And I really never had I never really had a problem with the gangs in prison. You know, you have problems with people, just people here and there, but I never had a problem
Staxx,
because of that situation.
Staxx, how old were you when you first went to prison?
First time was 15. I was 15. That's when I was involved with the gang. When I first caught a really case and I had to go to prison, I was 17 years old.
What'd you think about prison?
I was scared, man. I was scared when I walked in there, and it was a hell of an experience. It was walking in there and having people scream that they're gonna kill you when the door pops open. It's pretty terrifying, man. And then when you walk out and no one does nothing, it's like, who was talking all that? And then it's just a really it's a really weird place to get used to. And I never wanted to get comfortable there. There's a lot of people in there that like, I want that chair. That's my chair. That's my cell. It was never my cell. It was never my chair. That's all your shit. I'm going home. You know what I mean? I never wanted to make that my life, but I was going into prison over and over, in and out, in and out. And I seen a lot of bad things in prison, and it was bad, man.
So let me ask you a question, okay? I know. So when did you start taking drugs at an early age?
The first time I ever did drugs, I was 15, and I got drunk at a school dance. The police officer was standing at the dance. You know, they have like a cop to like watch over the kids. So he's standing there. I'm all drunk, and the cop grabbed me. They called my mother. She was never with all that drug stuff. The cop standing there with me, right? See my mother charging right to me. You know, it's nighttime. There's a dance going on. I'm at the school. There's all the kids are coming out of the dance. And here comes my mother smacking me in the head right in front of the cop. The cop goes, "Don't do that here. Wait till you get home." And she just smacking me in front of him. It was crazy, man.
Tell me about this photo. Now, how old were you when you first became a dad?
I was 25 years old.
25 years old. And you went back to prison at that time too.
Yeah.
Okay. Tell me about this photo.
Yeah, so I was there when my daughter was born. I cut her umbilical cord. She was my world. She still is my world. Shout out to my daughter, Adriana Kai. I love you. She was everything in my world, man. She still is. And back then, I was really addicted to cocaine. Cocaine just had control of my life. I really couldn't handle, the day-to-day trying to function as a father and do this and that and be addicted to cocaine. It I had a daughter and I was addicted to drugs, and it was like, you got to make a choice, your daughter or drugs. And obviously I didn't choose my daughter, but I did stay in her life. But I don't think I was the father I could have been if I wasn't on drugs. But now that I'm sober, I try to be the father that I could have been then. I'm the father I could be now. You know what I mean?
Now, what made you realize, like, what was the wake up call to say, you know what, this is not a life I want?
Honestly, I think it was probably the last time I was in prison. I was sitting there, man, because my mother, my family, they weren't into drugs when I was growing up. I really can't complain about my childhood being bad with drugs or alcohol. It wasn't. But after, like, later on down the line, my brother gets involved with drugs, my mother gets involved with drugs. There's a lot of chaos going in my life. And I went to prison and everybody's still entrenched in all this stuff, right? So, like, my mother had a bill in my name, and that's crazy because I can't even imagine that now. My mother owns a house, she's a homeowner, she has things really put together in her life. She's been sober for 9 years. Shout out to my mother. I love you. And she's a big inspiration, man. She went from the homeless shelter and she got her own house. She put her life together and she was able to get things together and build it up. But the thing that changed me was I was sitting in prison and time was ticking by, man. Time kept ticking by, ticking by, ticking by, and I wasn't getting it back. Like, all this time I was sitting in prison, I'm like, damn, all these days, all these years that are gone from me just sitting here doing nothing. And it's not, you can't go to prison and be productive. I guess you can go there and work out and get in shape a little bit and get your mind right, but it's definitely not a positive thing for someone to go do. You know what I'm saying?
Let me pull up this photo.
Yeah, that's me and my daughter. I think I was high in the picture.
Hmm.
That's when she was first born.
How's she doing today?
She's doing great, man. She's in an alternative school for people with challenges, and she does the best she can, man. She's a really good kid. Her mother takes great care of her, and she's the best child I can ask for.
God bless. God bless all kids, because you know what? Raising kids is not easy. And we all have children. And, we don't know the path they're going to take. We try to be on top of them. We try to be the best parent we can. But you know what? Sometimes, the road is bumpy. And, once you go through that door, you don't know who your children's hanging out with. And you don't know what they're doing.
Yeah,
But, having children is it's very scary because you love these kids so much.
yeah, man. My daughter is my world. But I used to do that, play the victim thing, and I know there's people out there who know what I'm talking about. I can't see my kid. And then you just go get drunk or you use drugs because you can't see your kid and you make it worse and worse. And then you got probation and you're skipping your urine test because you're trying to scheme the dirty urine and all. I've been through all of it. So, like, I work a program today and it's about attraction, not promotion, for the people out there who know. And I try to have a firm foundation on my recovery, man, because without that, I don't have anything.
You're
If I
doing,
lose my recovery, I won't have nothing.
you're
That's
doing
what
good, Staxx. You're doing good. And so tell me about growing up in Connecticut, because I grew up in Brooklyn, New York. What's the difference?
back in the day, man, when I was growing up here, there was a lot of gangs. There was a lot of gangs out here. There was a lot of I don't know how it is out in New York, but I mean, there's a lot of Puerto Ricans, a lot of black people, a lot of white people. It's a mixed community, you know what I mean? And when I was growing up, I grew up in something called the White Projects. They called it. It was Dutton Heights in Bristol, and there was a project called Union Street. It was the Hilltop, and that was a pretty dangerous spot, the Hilltop. And I used to run back and forth from project to project and be a runner for people. You know, go get me this at the bootlegger, go do this and that, and they throw me some money. So it's kind of like what they were doing with you, the wise guys on the corner, when they were giving you money to go run errands for them. They were doing that with me, the gang members.
Yeah, I'll tell you, you know what? On your show, I mean, I get a kick out of it because you got a lot of thugs that come on your show. You know, especially when you have them all on there. I mean, they're all talking and everything, and you know, I know they're all running around the streets and stuff. You know, I know they're still in the game. You know,
Some of them are. Some of them
yeah,
are, yeah.
I mean, when you talk to these guys, like, what's the message to them? I mean, they see you on the podcast, you're doing the right thing, you're going to church on Sunday. You know, what's the message to them? Like, do you try to talk to them?
Dude, I try to convince them that being in the streets selling drugs, all that bullshit is not the way to go, man. Trust me, I am on a path of success, and I am going to do everything in my power to get where I need to be. And I'm trying to convey the message to anyone out there who will listen that it's doable. If you want to change your life, if you're stuck in the ruts of hell, if you're addicted to alcohol or drugs, there is another life out there and you can do it. If I can do it, you can do it. Like it's a hard road, but it's worth it. Definitely is
Yeah,
worth it.
it's not easy, that's for sure, you know, but every day, you know, one day at a time. Let me ask you about when you were a kid, what did you like? Did your mother teach you about God?
So when I was a kid, we would go to church. That's the reason why I go back now. I don't even go with my family. I go to church by myself because when I was younger, they used to make us come to church. We were real young. I was maybe like, I don't even know, man, 5, 6, 7, around that age. You know, kneel down, stand up, kneel down. I was like, I don't want to do this. So then the years go by. I start straightening my life out. I get sober. I get a clear head. And I keep thinking, I want to go back to church. I think because my mother planted that seed in my head back then, bringing me. And I was baptized. And I've been through, the things that Christians go through. And I love going to church, man. It's my escape from all of this craziness in the world, and it's the place where I can go and give the prayers to the people that need them.
That's nice. And every day, I know you help people out there. You try to raise money for the kids. You do toy drives. Tell us about all that stuff.
Yeah, Pat Stebbins. I met Pat Stebbins when I was homeless on the streets, into addiction heavily. I was at the end of the line. I wanted to die at the point I was at. And it wasn't like I was getting high and it was fun anymore. It wasn't fun. And when I met Pat Stebbins through that journey, and when I decided to change my life, I went back to the place that helped me, and I go and volunteer at Brian's Angels a couple days a week. I help out when I can, and I got a lot of respect for Pat. She's been through a lot. She lost her son to suicide, and he was addicted to drugs, and his chance is gone to live life, but I still got my chance, and I'm not going to waste this chance. I'm going to take advantage of every positive opportunity that presents itself, and I have a ton of opportunities that are great. The people in my life are incredible. And matter of fact, Pat Stebbins is coming on my show this week. I'm trying to schedule it.
Yeah, we gotta check them out.
Yeah, no, Pat's a woman. She
Oh, okay.
she
Gotta check
lost
out.
her son. She's the one who does Brian's Angels in Bristol.
Okay.
And she donates to the community. She donates all her time, 6 days a week. I think it's Tuesday through Sunday. She serves lunches. She gives out clothes to the needy. She has abused women's programs there. She helps homeless people get into housing. She helps them get toiletries and toothpaste and all that. And she is a saint. She
It's
really is.
it's good to have someone like that in your corner. You know, you help each other.
Yeah.
And tell me about this photo.
Yeah, it's me and my cousin Randy. Shout out to Randy, man. So when I was young, man, you know, back in the day and now, it's just totally different world. Back in the day, you could ride in the back of a pickup truck and you wouldn't get in trouble. You know what I mean? Like me and my cousin used to walk to school when we were that little. You walk to school, it's like a mile away. And me and my cousin, we were really close
How's he
growing
doing
up.
today?
He's good, man. He has his own business. They run my cousin runs it's like an addiction program that they
Oh,
run. Yeah.
nice. Let me ask you, what gives you your passion and your drive? You know, I mean, you with this YouTube, I see you. I mean, you do a lot of things, and you do it good. I love the way you make your videos, and you know, you just want to keep on being successful. What gives you your drive?
Where I used to be, man. I never want to be in that place again. Never. And my daughter. Being a positive influence for my daughter, and all this stuff is new to me. Like doing all this stuff, living life the right way and the way you're supposed to live life, it's new to me. I used to live life totally wrong. And now that I'm living it on the right track, it's great, man. I wish I had a father figure back in the day that would really teach me what life is all about. And but there's kids out there that don't have that, and that's what I grew up with. And I think I was lost for a long time. And it took a lot of work, man. I'm not gonna lie. It was a long road to get where I'm at, but it's definitely worth it. And another thing about my father, remember we were talking about my father, how he was gone out of my life and then he came back. It was I was 24 years old and I was remodeling basements, and I got a phone call on my phone, and it was my father, my real father. And this is after he grabbed me by the throat. After he grabbed me by the throat when I was 10, I met him one more time after that. I was out on bond. I got caught with a sawed-off shotgun in a home invasion case. I got bonded out, and I was out on bond, and my father said, "Come with me. Just take off on bond, and you don't have to go to prison." And I'm like, I can't do that to my mother, man. Like, so I ended up going to prison, and he ended up leaving, and he started traveling down up and down the Mississippi River. And so when I was 24, he calls me up out of the blue. So we start striking up a relationship. We're talking, and all of a sudden he goes missing. I wasn't 24. I think I was 28. He went missing. And I was calling him. He wasn't answering the phone. And I'm like, what the fuck? Every day I would talk to him at night. And it wasn't like him to just go missing. And I'm calling him. His birthday passes. His birthday just passed, March 13th, 1958 was his birthday. Shout out to my pops. So all of a sudden I get a phone call. It's my mother. I'm driving down the street. I remember the day. And I answer the phone. I'm like, what's up? She goes, hey, Bill, the coroner called me. The coroner from Illinois, they said they found your father's body. So there was a log jam was in the river. He was riding the boat up the river, and a thing hit his boat, and the boat sank. And he caught hypothermia, and he drowned. And they found his body 40 days later, and they never found his boat, and they never found his dog that he was with. And it was a sad situation, and I think that situation really pushed me to, like, I was on a suicide mission after that. because I felt like I don't have nobody, poor me, poor me. But I wasn't thinking about the other people in my life that would have been affected by the things that I was doing. And those are the types of things I think about now. And I am truly blessed that I got the opportunity to talk to my father, because my father was abusive towards my mother when she was with him, before I was born. He used to beat her up all the time. She would have black eyes. She would say, I ran into the door. She got tired of telling people she ran into the door 100 times. You know what I'm saying? So I got the opportunity to talk to my father and air out all my grievances with him, because he knew when I seen him in person that we were gonna have to handle business. You know what I mean? Like you know what I mean.
I
But
understand what you're saying.
I got to let him know all the things that bothered me when I was growing up. And I'm just blessed I got to do that. You know what I mean?
My condolences on your dad. I lost my dad. I was sitting in prison. My father had pancreatic cancer. I couldn't go to his wake. So, I know what you feel. I'm saying, we all lose people, and that changes us too. It either makes us better or makes us more angry.
It made me angry when it happened, man. I was angry when it happened.
Yeah,
I
it's a
was like
sin.
drinking a lot, doing drugs until like body couldn't handle it anymore. Overdose, go to the hospital, go to prison, in and out for years. I did that.
Yeah, and so how about when you were growing up, your friends, right? What type of people were they that you were hanging out with? I mean, do you still have friends today?
From that time,
Yes.
I have two. There's two friends from that time when I was in the gang. There's two friends that I still talk to who were involved with it, and till this day, a lot of them are dead. A lot of them are in prison forever. And the gang that I was involved with, they're gone. It's disbanded. But I do have a couple friends that I still talk to, and they're both sober too.
Nice.
I bet you if they weren't, they probably wouldn't be around.
Now, how do you get through it every day? I'm saying, I know there's that certain thing that maybe you wanna, because people who used to do drugs, it's always a fight every day,
Yeah, it is.
because they always want, wait, let me have that last high. Wait, let me try it one more time, right?
Yeah, it's called a reservation. It's called having a reservation, and that's middle of the road recovery, man. That's when you're not all the way involved with what you're supposed to be doing. Because if you take the steps and do what you're supposed to do, that won't happen. Because I worked on myself to lift the obsession of alcohol and drugs from me. I was obsessed with this shit, man. Like I would try to control myself, but I couldn't. I wasn't a functioning addict. There's a lot of people out there that are functioning, but I wasn't one of them. And I know there's people out there who aren't one of those. And like I couldn't handle just having one beer or just doing it a little bit. I'll do a little bit and people won't know. If I was doing drugs, I would not be on this podcast. I would not be doing I wouldn't care about any of this shit. I would care about doing drugs. You know what I'm saying? And I think if people are out there and they're struggling and they want to get help, there's ways to go about it. You can go with faith-based recovery. You can go to NAAA. There's all kinds of different things you can do. There's medicated assisted recovery. There's all kinds of things. But there's a whole bunch of aspects that go into staying clean. There's a lot that are in my life, but my network around me is a priority. You can't be around people who are still involved with the bullshit and who are still out there selling drugs and doing all this crazy stuff. You can't be involved with that if you want to do the right thing. Thank you. I really appreciate that.
Yeah. So tell me about what the future holds for you.
What the future holds, man. I'm so excited for the future. If you guys don't know, I have a show called Chatting with Staxx on YouTube. I started off where I started interviewing mob related people, and I'm branching out. I'm going to be interviewing people from all walks of life, but I'm still going to have that street aspect. And what I got coming in the future is, you guys all know I'm going to Las Vegas soon. Um, I'm going to be out in Vegas. Mother Courage has a store coming out called the Readings by Mother Courage store. It's going to be on the Las Vegas Strip, and they gave me an opportunity to go there and have a episode on their series every 2 weeks. I got to get the schedule, but it's going to be incredible. I'm going to be talking about recovery. I'm going to be talking to different guests. Matter of fact, I want to invite you to come out to Vegas, to come on the show, man. And you could come stay with us. And while my other half is out doing things, me and you can go. We could go out to dinner, play golf. I could have you on the show. I could interview you there. And I'm going to have MobCon related events. I'm going to do all kinds of things, man. The future is looking crazy bright for me. And I couldn't have done it without you helping me throughout this journey too, man. So
We help each other, Staxx. We help each other. And another thing is, like, you're all over the place. I mean, I see your videos and you do these things where you go into graveyards and stuff like that. I mean, I'm sure the people in Connecticut and like in your area get a kick out of you. You told me one time you were doing some kind of filming or something, and there was I don't know, some kids, they were on a trip or something, and the teacher said, "Oh, what are you doing over here?" I'm sure everybody knows you out there.
Yeah, a lot of people know me because I do tattoos, and now the podcast is starting to get bigger and bigger. Like, people don't recognize me when I walk down the street like they recognize you, man.
Yeah.
You're recognizable, man.
Yeah.
Everybody knows who Jimmy Calandra is.
Yeah. But I'll tell you, you know what? Look, you really inspired me, because where you are and where you're at today,
yeah,
is amazing. Because I know, what, you could have been dead, you could have been in prison, and you're beating the odds. And you got to keep on doing it.
That's the plan, man. I got a lot of people on my side that I got to thank for all the help throughout this time. My mother is a major one. Thank you, Mom, for being there for me. I love you. And without her, I wouldn't be here, man. So shout out to you, Mom. My daughter, Kai, she is my world. My brother, my sister, everybody in my life, my girl, I love you. Everybody, man. They're just, I wouldn't be the person I am without the people I have around me. You know what I mean?
That's it. You just got to keep on putting good people in your life.
You need that positive reinforcement around you to push you in the right direction.
How old is your daughter?
She's 17 years old.
17 years old.
Wow. She's about to graduate high school.
My daughter's going to be 13 on the 26th.
It's crazy, man, right?
Teeny bopper.
My daughter got in a car accident recently.
Oh, she okay?
Yeah, she banged up her knee. The driver had a broken leg. Her friend in the backseat had a broken arm. But they were speeding. It was icy out. The guy lost control of the car, crashed the car. My daughter could have been killed. So, I mean, I'm just thankful. My daughter was the only one in the car with her seatbelt on.
Hey, Staxx. Well, I hope your daughter gets a speedy recovery. You know what? So how do you find content every day? How do you do it? Because some people, look, content is hard to get. I mean, listen, I have a past behind me. I did prison time. I ran in the street, and but every day is a new story. But how do you find content? I mean, how do you find it? I mean, because you do a good job of it. You're always finding content. Sometimes you do 2 shows in one day.
Man, people don't know, but I was at the Sports Center today in ESPN. I'm gonna drop that video later. I was in the Sports Center filming, man. So I'm just trying to change it up and bring you different aspects of my life and things that I've done or places that I've been. And I want to bring it to you guys so you can see my angle of where I'm coming from. And for everyone out there that's with the Mob Tube, I respect you, but you got to check out the Mobcast. That is chatting with Staxx and all my people I deal with. Mobcast is #1 on YouTube for mob content.
I have
Check it out.
I have Elizabeth Coppola. I love you too, Staxx. Always so proud of you.
She is amazing. She's
Good.
great, man.
I'm glad, you know what, Staxx, I'm glad you found somebody. I really am. I'm happy for you, man. This is a Joey D, Tanny Boots, listen to Jimmy Live, okay? Let me get some more questions for Staxx, people out there. But Staxx, tell me about some other things in your life. I mean, growing up, like, you know, some crimes you committed when you were a kid, besides getting caught with the pistols.
You want me to tell you stuff I didn't get caught for?
Well, as long as it's not a body.
No. I'm not out there killing people, man. So I got a stolen car case I could tell you about.
Sure. Let's hear it.
So yeah, man, we used to steal cars a lot. You know, back in the day, you used to be able to pump the gas and you used to pump the gas first and then go pay. Remember that? So we would steal the cars, usually in church parking lots, and we would pump the gas at the gas station, and then we would go in the car and act like we're looking for the money, and then turn the car on, press the gas. People would be running outside, they're calling the cops, and then we'd be on the highway, and we would gun the car. We'd be flying down the highway, going in and out of traffic, screaming and shit with the radio blasting, and we would go to different restaurants and eat pizza and run out of the restaurant. People would chase us. So one of the kids that I used to do all this stuff with, his name was Toby. He was one of my best friends back in the day, and he was a little wild. And one time he decided to go to this club with a gun, and he ended up shooting this girl that I was involved with. Her brother. She shot her brother in the arm. He thought that he killed him because of the way he shot him. It looked like he shot him in the chest, but he shot him in the arm. And the cops came to the club, and they chased him. He was getting chased through the town, and he pulled up to this gas station. He jumped out of the car. The cops surrounded him, and he blew his brains out at the gas pump. And it was terrible, man. And he was one of my really good friends that I used to do a lot of things with. And about 4 of my friends died that way. Not from suicide, but 4 of my friends died with the cops chasing them, either from the cops killing them, or them killing themselves, or a shootout with the cops. It was something like that. I had at least 4 of my friends that have died by the hands of the police. Or their own hand, however you would want to call that situation. But honestly, when I was a kid, I thought that that's the way I was going to die. I thought that I was going to die by suicide by a cop. I hated the cops back then, especially when they would be shooting my friends. Like, I absolutely hated the cops. If you guys go on my channel and check it out, there's a story about back in the day when there was a shootout in downtown Bristol in front of the courthouse with the different gangs. There was a rival beef and there was a shootout. And one of the kids I know, he just passed away. He got shot right in front of the courthouse. And the police, they just kicked all these gang members out into the street and let this happen. They didn't care back in the day. If it would have happened now, what happened back then, this little melee in court, they would have arrested everybody and took them all in prison. But they didn't do that back then. They let them all out and they shot them in front of the courthouse, man.
Wow. Yeah, back in the day, the cops were rough. You're lucky if you made it to the precinct.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
With the cops. But Anthony Santoro has a question for your Staxx. What advice would you give your teenage self back in the days with what you know now? Jimmy, same question.
Keep your mouth shut, Staxx. Keep your eyes open and keep your mouth shut.
Yeah, my advice I would give any kids is, you know what? Tell your parents you always love them. My both parents, my father passed away at the age of 59 years old. My mother, 65. My mother died of an aneurysm. I had Sunday dinner with her, and my sister calls me on a Tuesday. She says, Jimmy, have you spoken to mommy? I said, no. We drove over to her house, and she's lying dead on the floor. So I would say all the kids out there, you know what, do the right thing in life, make your parents proud, and do something with your life. I mean, don't throw it away. And always say I love you to the people you love and hug and kiss them, because life goes by so fast. By the time you know it, I mean, I'm 52. I feel like I'm 25, but I can't do the things I used to do when I was 25. When I was 25, I used to be able to walk through walls. Now I'm lucky I could just walk,
Right.
Life goes by quick. So,
you don't get this time back, man. Every day. The most important moment in your life. What's the most important moment in your life, Jimmy?
I'll tell you the most important moment in my life.
I could tell you mine.
Well, you know what? The most important moment in my life, I'm going to tell you the truth, was making the right decision. Okay? Because if I don't make the right decision, I'll tell you, you know what? Because growing up, kids could, run with the wrong crowd, and you get mixed up in something, and you know what? You find yourself in a jail cell forever. So the most important thing was me coming forward and taking my life back, not looking up to the old wise guys no more, not having someone else telling me you got to take a plea, or you know what, you got to wait for me to take a plea. I took over my life. I control my life now. So that was one of the most important things. But this, the most important thing is me having my kids, because that's an amazing experience.
Yeah. No, someone asked me that question, right? They said, what's the most important moment in your life? And I'm like, oh, it's this time, it's that time. No, man, it's right now. Right now. Because right now is the only moment you have. You don't get this back, man. Right now is the most important moment of your life.
And it's the truth, because you know what? Time goes by so fast.
It's true.
Jimmy Colangelo, any person that puts his personal life out there to help kids coming up, I personally have tremendous respect for.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Johnny the Greek from London. Hey, Jimmy C. I was born in 1969 as well. If we don't grow up by now, we never will. I take my hat off to you. Salute, and your kids. Let's see this one over here. Staxx, only respect for you. Was not a fan, but I am now. Very humble and good man you are.
Thank you, man. I really appreciate that, man. Thank you.
And listen, you know what? It's always good to sit down with you. Me and you, we have conversations over the phone. You know what? Let's talk about, what do you think about what's going on YouTube today? I mean, listen, I know when you came on YouTube, same thing as me. It was about making content, telling a story.
It was different then. It was different when we first started to now. It's a lot different. It's getting crazy, man. A lot of things have happened in the last year with all this drama and people going at each other, and people calling people's mothers, and people going to people's houses and putting people's information. It's just crazy, man. People need to step back and just come on here and make content, man. People are making whole channels about making fun of other people. Like, you don't know what them other people are dealing with or going through. They're making channels just to, I don't know. I don't get it, man. I don't get it. I have no clue what any of these people.
I can tell you this: anyone comes in front of my door, I'm gonna leave them in front of the door.
Yeah,
That's 100%.
You have to, man.
But I got Phil Grimaldi in the chat. Let me throw a couple of Donnie Ragu, Gerard, Princess Mish, Corey Andrew, Tony the Night Owl, Bruno, Joe Delamora. I see you. Robert Feebles, what's up, Robert? I'll be coming for that Kobe Bryant painting real soon. Let's see. This guy has a question. Let's see what he has to say. Jimmy, question for you. Did the advice I gave you over your Pretty photo. Make any positive change to how you seen it. Roy Munson, I don't remember that. I'm sorry. You're gonna have to send me a message again.
This dude says, Staxx, what about Ramundi? Is he legit in your opinion? Much love. Listen, man, Ramundi's my boy. He's obviously been involved with a lot of things. He has a lot of knowledge up there, but Ramundi's story is Ramundi's story. It's not my story. I bring Ramundi on the show to tell his story. If you like his story, watch the stuff. If you don't, go watch whoever don't like whoever. I don't know. Ramundi's cool as hell. He's entertaining. I got nothing but love for that guy. He's great.
Let's see. Someone tried to goat me, Bill, and Tommy recently related to our podcast. Ignore, ignore, ignore. Thanks, Phil. Good advice. Thank you. I appreciate it. That's a detective, second grade detective Phil Grimaldi. I got detectives in my chat. I love it, baby. Bring them on, baby. I love them. But so what else? What else is going on? So what do you got coming up? What do you got coming up soon? Any special guests?
Yeah, man. I got a whole bunch of guests coming up. Whole bunch. Who do I got coming? I have so I know you guys heard of the Cleveland Strangler before, right? Have you heard of that before? The guy who got caught, I think it was around 2018 or 17. He got caught. He killed about 14 women. I'm gonna have one of the survivors and a couple other people who were involved in that case. I got a bunch of things coming up. I have a Poker King episode coming up. If you guys don't know what that is, I'm going to be doing episodes with people who play poker.
Wow, we should get together, a couple content creators, and have a poker game.
We could do that too, man.
Yeah, we should do that.
Yeah, definitely. And film it. We could have it around a big table, smoking cigars, playing poker. Yeah, it's a great idea, man.
Staxx, we got 190 people in the chat.
I appreciate everyone who's watching right now. I do got an intro thing that I've been working on. I'm going to be filming it in New York City. I think I talked to you about it a couple times back when I first started this, but I'm going to be get the ball rolling on that before I go do other things, because I want to get the content together in New York before I spread out across the country. So if you want to, maybe we could get together and work on something together in New York before I go.
Staxx, anytime you want to come to New York, I'll take you to a good pizzeria. I'm saying we'll do something. This guy asks you, Staxx, where do you see yourself in 5 years?
Who knows? Honestly, who knows? I see myself 5 years. There's a 5-year plan in Vegas. So I don't know. Maybe I'll be on a boat sailing with my woman somewhere, enjoying my life.
You'll be doing that before 5 years. You'll be doing that in 5 months.
Maybe.
Sure you will.
Yeah, probably.
Let me see. I'm looking for
world domination.
Yeah, so you're going to Vegas. I mean, that's pretty cool, you know, going to Vegas. Have you ever been to Vegas before?
No, never. I flew right past Vegas, man. I've been to California. You know, I've traveled quite a bit, man. Hopping from here to here. It's crazy.
You're gonna have a good time in Vegas, I tell you. And just remember, whatever happens in Vegas stays in Vegas.
You've been there, right? Didn't they hide you out there before? When
I was there 3 times, Vegas. I know I love Vegas. It's a great it's a great city. And I'll tell you, when I was there, the food was cheap. When I was there, they had the Sahara Hotel. It's no longer there. They dropped it.
Yeah.
They blew it up and dropped it. But Vegas is definitely a great nightlife. You know, you have a lot of fun.
Caesar's Palace. That's where we're going to be staying at.
You're going to enjoy yourself for sure.
Yeah,
100%, man. Definitely.
You guys are going to see a lot more content coming. I'm going to be linked up with a lot more mob-related people. So if you guys like the mob content, I'm going to have some, you know how they have the polls on YouTube where do you want to see this content or this content? I'm gonna have some polls on my community tab. So if you guys want to go over there and check it out, we'll be able to you'll be able to vote on what I post.
Staxx, tell me about your favorite mobster movie.
I like Goodfellas is my absolute favorite because it's the most gritty and the grittiest. I think it's the grittiest. I think the other ones like Casino, I think there's just parts that's too cartoony, you know? They just try too hard.
You know what? Goodfellas is probably you know, really one of the films that you could really relate to what the mob is right now.
Yeah.
You know, it's all fun, and then eventually everything catches up to you. Like everything caught up to all those guys. Everybody takes a pinch.
No one walks away free from that.
I got Joey D over here. Staxx got to respect that viewpoint. At least Staxx does not get into the gossip tube.
No, I ain't got time for it, man. I'm always working. Who has time to sit here and talk about another man? Like, come on, man.
My favorite mobster movie is Once Upon a Time in America. I love that film. In a way, it reminds me of me and my friends growing up and becoming gangsters, going to jail. And, Robert De Niro and a couple other big-time actors. And I love the part when they shoot the guy, Joe, for the diamonds and the money. They set him up. James Woods and De Niro's there, and De Niro tells James Woods, you know what? Today they tell me and you to kill Joe. Tomorrow they tell me to kill you. Is that okay with you? Because that's not okay with me.
Yeah.
I mean, just the dialect and the quotes are just great. The film was great, and yeah, it's a great film. That's one of my favorites.
I can't wait to see Mob King, man. That's shout out to Ciro DiPazio. Mob King's gonna be an incredible movie. There's a big anticipation for that movie.
Yeah, what is he up to? I mean, when's it gonna be done?
Really soon, man. I couldn't tell you, but I know it's really soon. I know it's coming soon.
I'll tell you what, look, I give him credit because he's been doing this for a long time. And I tell you what, he's a pretty good actor.
Dude, there was a Mob King series, though. I think that so there was a series, The Mob King, and now there's a movie, The Mob King. So it's two different things. He's been working at it for a long time, but I think people get it confused on what some people think it's the same thing of what it was before, but this is a movie. It's totally different from what it was before. I'm pretty sure
I got Edwin Jimenez, best mob movie of all time, Amin Asante as Gotti. I tell you, Amin Asante did play a good Gotti.
That was a really good movie, man.
He's a great actor, Amin Asante.
Honestly, that might have been one of the best mob movies of all times.
Really?
But there was if it had the same cinema as Goodfellas, that probably would have been the best movie. American Me, definitely a great movie.
Great film.
I used to watch all that stuff like Menace to Society, New Jersey Drive. When I was a younger kid, we used to watch all stuff like that and then go do crimes after we watch it.
Yes, it's true. Tommy used to call you a git, Jimmy. Yes, he used to call us gits. And what's a git? A git is a gangster in training. That's what he used to say. You guys have a bunch of gits.
Oh, I thought you meant they called you that. Like, go get that. Go get that.
And I say, what's a git? And he said, what's a git? A gangster in training.
Gangster in training. Go get that. Put him in the bathroom, Staxx. Shout out to Shine Box.
Jimmy or Staxx, can you ask? Jimmy uploaded a photo of his father, two sisters, and Jimmy seemed down and asked him to look at it from another perspective. I showed him it could be looked at. I don't know what you're saying. Sorry. Miller's Crossing too. Another good film, Miller's Crossing.
I've never seen that.
Yeah, that's a good one. Miller's Crossing.
Is that a mob movie?
Yes.
Yeah, I gotta write that down. Hold up.
There's another one too. It's called uh, Gangster Wars. It's an old one from the 1980s. A lot of people never seen it, but it's a great film about Meyer Lansky, Lucky Luciani, Bugsy Siegel, and back in that era, about them coming up and how they took over and they created the five families. But they almost killed Lucky Luciano. They cut his face. They give him a beating, and then Lucky Luciano kills Joe the Boss in Coney Island and kills Marizano too. And he
Yeah.
comes over and he becomes,
I
the
don't
guy.
think people know, man, but Lucky Luciano used to tell on people to the police
Of
to get
course.
other gangsters arrested so he could take over their rackets. Like it was a big snitch game back then. People
Of
don't
course,
get it.
absolutely.
Like
This is a good series right here, the Gomorrah series. I watched it. It's great. You got to check it
I
out.
tried to watch. Do the mouse stay together on the show though?
What do you mean?
Like when the mouse moved, do the words stay with the mouth? Because I can't watch movies that are
Uh,
like that, man. That are like, rah, rah, rah,
Sometimes
like the
I know.
karate movie.
Yeah, I know what you're saying.
Drives me nuts.
Let me see. This guy's saying over here. What's the chance you could have the Binger on your show, Jimmy? You know what? I was just talking to somebody. They just called me. They said the same thing. They asked me the same question. I said, it's a possibility. I mean, I wouldn't scratch it out. Anything could happen. But, Chris is loaded. He's got tons of money. If I was loaded and had millions of dollars, in all honesty, I wouldn't want to be bothered with this either.
Yeah,
I
but
was
still, you could do it just to do it, man. I don't do this for the money. Like I don't.
If he's listening, Chris Paciello, you want to come on, you invite every time. You know that. And of course, it'll be always respectful. For sure.
Have you seen the interviews I just did with Bobby Hits? Shout out to Bobby Hits. Shout out to Mike Appa.
I didn't see that one. Who is Bobby Hits?
Bobby Hits is a promoter, a boxing promoter. He fought George Foreman, man.
He beat him?
No, he didn't beat him. They put a stop to the fight, but he didn't get knocked down. And Mike Tyson wouldn't even fight George Foreman. So that says something. That's big, man. Huge.
George Foreman is a great fighter, man.
Yeah.
Philadelphia guy.
And Angelia Bianca, I interviewed her. Shout out to Angelia. She is a great woman. She overcame addiction just like me. I have tons of respect for her. She's a true inspiration in my life. Definitely is. Check out that interview.
This is a movie you have to see. Thief, James Caan with James Belushi. You ever see this movie? Thief?
I don't know.
It's one of my top 10 films. Thief. Great film. You would love it.
That one down too.
I'll give you a quote out of Thief, okay? Because I know all these films. I watched them when I was a kid growing up. He was a diamond guy, a cash guy. No home invasions, no nothing. But it really is a great film. James Caan.
Would you guys watch movies back in the day when you guys were kids, all hanging out together? Would you guys watch movies back in the day and let them amp you up to go do shit?
No, we would just watch movies and we would enjoy it. I would like to watch the acting. And growing up all my life, I tell you the truth, I loved films. Me, my brother, all my friends, we would go to their house. My friend John Padone, or they would come to my house and we throw a good film in. Rocky films, James Cagney, everybody. We used to love it. You know what I mean?
Karate flicks.
Oh, the karate flicks were on Saturdays.
Oh man, I remember those.
Those were the best. Yeah, those were good times. I tell you, looking back, a lot of good times.
Enter the Dragon. Remember when Bruce Lee fought Chuck Norris, man?
Bruce Lee was the best. Nobody's better than him. He was the quickest, and that guy could move like forget about it.
Bro, he was insane. Shout out to Bruce Lee.
Angelina Ferrantino, absolutely. It gave me a new perspective.
Are you gonna get involved with the movies, Jimmy, and the documentaries and things like that?
Well, you know what? Someday, hopefully I could drop my book soon, and we'll see what happens. But I would definitely, love to play in a film. 100%.
Is that
Absolutely.
your goal to drop the book and then mold it into a documentary or a movie or something?
If that's what destiny calls, I would love to do it. I'm saying, I got a couple different ideas. I want to do something with Tommy Dades. Tommy Dades is a dear friend of mine. If we could do something together, we have some kind of elements that we would, like to join together. We'll see what happens. But that's what I'm thinking about.
The story is incredible, man. With having the kids growing up like that and the treachery and everything coming together, it would be an incredible story, man. If it was done right, it has to be done right by the right people, you know?
You know what it is? What is it gonna take to make a film that's better than Goodfellas?
I don't know.
What is the next best film?
Honestly, I don't think it's gonna take major actors. I don't think it will take major actors. I think it would take maybe a really good director and some gritty, real people. Put the real people in there and have them act. That's
Well,
kind of like what the Mob King did, right?
well, you
But
know what?
there is a lot of established actors in there, but he had a lot of real people in there too.
Well, you know what? The thing is, I know what you're saying because a lot of people in the same mob films, so you need
Yeah,
new faces.
yeah.
Definitely need new faces. But the thing is, who has the next best mob movie out there? What story is going to be the next best film? I mean, there has to be one out there. The Saints of Newark, they could have really did something with that, but
They
what they did
dropped the
was
ball, man. They
they
dropped the
chopped it
ball
up.
on that one.
Yeah, they chopped it up. But I guess we will see. But there has to be some mob movies out there because listen, everyone loves these mob stories, and they're very intrigued by them. So we'll see what happens.
I know. Well, the Mob King's gonna come out, and we're gonna see what the response is from that. I know the anticipation is crazy. The clips and stuff that I've seen of it are incredible, and he has some really good actors and stuff on there, man.
Yeah. Well, you know what? I know he's been working on that for a while, and I think he has. I told him that once before. I said, you got something really special over here. So good luck to him. But to all the people out there, thank you for coming in today. I really appreciate it. Any more questions for Staxx? Why Staxx here? Pazzo, I see you.
I really appreciate you having me on, Jimmy, man. Thank you.
Of course, what? Listen, I wanted to do this a long time ago with you. You interviewed me, and you deserve. Listen, you deserve this. I mean, hopefully you get some new followers. Follow Staxx. Listen, Staxx is a great guy. Staxx is doing the right thing. Staxx is not one of those people that are calling people out on YouTube. He just wants to create content. He wants to be successful. He's taking care of himself. He's taking care of his family and wants to be a better person. So if you're out there and you can give him a follow, you know what? He would appreciate it. He's one of the good guys.
Definitely. Thank you. Thank you, everyone, for watching. And I will not disappoint you. I will work my ass off and drop you the best content I possibly can. And thank you for rocking with me. Please follow me. Thanks, Jimmy, man.
Staxx, it's always a pleasure. Take care of yourself, and I'll see you soon, okay?
Peace.
Thanks, buddy. Chatting with Staxx. Follow him. Check him out. He's got good content. He tries every day to do the right thing. And listen, as we know, life ain't hard, but he's doing the right thing one day at a time. But let's check out this video one more time. And guys, I love you. Thanks for tuning in tonight. You guys are the best. I got the best followers. I'll see you in my next video. Bye, guys.
The streets will never make you grow. It's not a seed, it's a gutter. There's no happy endings in this life. So this is my message to you. The streets will never love you back.